We'll start off 1-0 in the blue. Excited about that. And I thought the student section tonight, the crowd, everybody there was awesome. It was just good to be back in this environment and playing. I know our guys appreciated that as well. And credit to Marshall, too. They came in and they played physical. They played hard. We thought they would. That wasn't a surprise. And they were as advertised. And our guys fought through it, made some adjustments in the second half that helped us. Defense played extremely well in the second half, as good as you could play. And offensively, we did just enough to take care of the football at the end of the game where we could run the ball and finish taking a knee. Special teams were decent today. Just thinking about it before we go watch it. But it's hard to win every week. It's hard to be 1-0 every single week. And like everybody else, you'd love to go out there and dominate on all phases and blow a team out, shut them down, make plays on special teams. It doesn't always work that way. They prepare too. They got scholarships. They do a good job of getting themselves ready. And every week for us, we're going to learn every single game this season. It's just nice to be able to learn with the win. When we go back into the film room on Sunday and start getting back to work. So enjoying it. Enjoy the journey. We talk about that. We're going to enjoy this, and then we'll flip it around. We'll get ready for Portland State, and we'll be on to the next, and we'll correct a lot of things that we did in this game and try to get better and hopefully focus on those and then move on and make new mistakes in the next game. That's what we try to do. So, but proud of our team, proud of our coaches, proud of the way they handled themselves, and all those things you don't necessarily get to see. You see the end product, but I get to see these guys on Sundays all the way through game time and how they operate, how they work, how they treat each other. And to me, that's a special part of college football. That's really what this whole thing is about. There's so much more than just when we step on the field. But when we step on the field, we want to play well, and we want to play to the best of our abilities. And we did enough tonight to win, but the potential that we have, we got to find a way to tap into that a little bit more. So questions?
Coach, how good was that Marshall defense?
They were good. And I thought their D-line played better. They moved around. There was a little bit of talk about being undersized, but what do? You move around. You play hard. That's exactly what they did. I thought their linebackers played better. They lost number 2, and so you'd hope that that linebacker core would not be as productive. They were probably better. And not to take away anything from number 2, I think they just probably were challenged during the week. They rose up, and they showed it tonight. Some of these plays that we were going to go get 8-9 yards, they held to 4 because we were getting up to them, but they tackled well. And their edge guys did a good job. We had a few shot plays that we didn't get off. They were providing pressure, and I thought schematically they did some good things. They changed a few things up. VMI, they didn't quite show every single thing in that game, and we had to make some adjustments on offense. But overall, yeah, credit to them. Their defense played extremely hard, and I don't think we didn't think that was going to happen, but they played well tonight, and they played consistently too. At the end of the game, I think we had just enough in our tank to get the ball down the field, and I do believe at the end we could have scored. We chose to take a knee. That's the right thing to do in that situation, as much as you want to punch it in. And, that's how we finished. Taking a knee, and we won the game, and that's what we came to do.
Hurst, the defense gave up 0 yards in the second half. You guys had some great defense around here. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. So
you've never seen that before.
And this is, obviously it's 2 weeks in a row the defense has been really good in the second half. So what did you see out of those guys tonight, and particularly in that second half?
Well, what I saw, I'm making no calls on the defensive side, and I saw the defensive staff make adjustments, but every time that the defense had to go out there was a couple sudden changes, right, that they were on the field. Didn't flinch. They were in there. They're talking to each other. This is what we got to do. They're very focused on the corrections that they made from the previous drive and then just communicating that out of the huddle and getting on the field. And we did some things, I'm sure, just listening to the coaches, they made adjustments on the field and got us out of some bad situations by just communicating and seeing something that the offense was doing and then pointing it out and then getting themselves into position. But that's a relentless defense when you go out there and do what they did this second half. So, hey, that's, we win games like that. I'm all about it. All about our defense playing like that. All about our guys on that side of the ball getting out there and making plays like Curtis did, big sack opportunities. Keikoa's interceptions, is, they reviewed it. I have no idea why, but he made a huge play. It's a huge play for us and momentum changer, and I think we took advantage of that enough on the offensive side, obviously, to win the game. But those guys play like that, and they play with that type of confidence, in between series where they're making corrections, they come out and they're ready to go. That's what I saw tonight.
For 14 plays in the second half, do you feel like, being that rested kind of helped that effort?
I think it helps. Yeah, that wasn't we're trying to run the ball on the offensive side, and I think as a team, when you can do that at times, you're going to if you can control it a little bit, you keep your defense off. That's not necessarily like we're trying to keep them off the field. We're just trying to run the ball. But, yeah, 14 plays, if they're rested up and they can make adjustments, fine by me. Get them on the field and let them go out there and cut it loose. They were just ready to play, each series, and they did that. They forced punts. They got turnovers, and that was the key to the game.
With the, a bit of a slow start, I know you talked about trying to avoid that and the hangover thing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you had that a little bit tonight?
I don't know. The hangover thing is, I think that's a lot of, everybody's concerned about that. You're poised in your preparation, but you're paranoid as heck about those type of things. I don't know if it was a combination of us not executing well or what Marshall was doing to us. And I don't ever want to take away from the other team. I think Marshall played really well tonight. And as much as I want to say, it's on us and all that, I think a lot of that had to do with Marshall. I felt like our preparation throughout the week was good. I felt like the attitude of the team today was very good. And I think Marshall came out and they provided a challenge, and they made it tough. So I don't want to just say it was on us. We should have just dominated Marshall. We should have rolled over these guys. Yeah, I want a faster start. Absolutely. And we need to find a way to do that. But give credit to Marshall, too. They came out, and the way they played and the way their kids handled themselves early in the game, I don't want to take away from them either.
Your young backfield has been obviously very productive, but also had some trouble, as you mentioned, this week with the ball security. Showed up again tonight, almost at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. How much of, and obviously those guys are young and haven't done this much, how much of a concern is that for you that the ball's been coming out the way it has? Major concern, yeah. And, again, that's one of those things you spend, that's the number one key, is ball security, right? Taking care of the football. And when that ball is on the ground, we're obviously not doing a good enough job of emphasizing that or making it happen in the game. And it's going to hurt you, and it will hurt us. So we'll go back and refigure out how we do a better job of it. I think our guys know. It's just one of those things that we really have to go back and reemphasize. I believe that. I really do. As much as we talk about it, you can sit there and say that, but it's crazy to think just because you talk about it and you're doing these things and you think you have all the answers that you do, it's not showing up. So we need to go back and recreate ourselves in this area and make it more important. And these guys have to understand that we've got to take care of the football. Our defense will get it. Special teams, don't give it away. And then offense, we obviously got to make sure that we end up every drive finishing with a kick. That's what we want.
I know it wasn't the finest moment for you, but I know you got the penalty, and Khalil did say you mentioned it to the team afterward. Well, can you tell us kind of what happened, and was that maybe the first one you've ever had?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I let the bad wolf out a little bit or something in that moment. Yeah, well, that hurt our team. It hurt our team, and I told the team, we haven't had a personal foul this season, but I told them after Sunday, when they see what I have to do, they're not going to want to get one. So, yeah, that's one of those things that, I would say the same thing to a player, right? We can't have it happen. And I owned it, and we'll handle it. I'll make sure of that, and the head coach will do a better job in those situations there. So I don't think it was that big of a touch, but hey, yeah, touch is a touch, right? A touch is a touch there. So, and again, hey, we'll go back. You guys saw the game. I saw the game too, so you can. I'm not going to talk about the officiating,
but you guys got a chance to see it. And, you know, these guys, again, you love these guys and you watch them play, and, you know, there's something about when you connect with your team, you care about them, and, you know, you just got to be disciplined in situations like that. So we'll get it taken care of.
Coach, with Hank, you've had him since January. You saw him in a high school play. Now he's playing live games. What are you learning about him that you didn't know? You still have to see things. What is he showing you or revealing about himself that maybe you didn't know from seeing him in high school?
Yeah.
Having him in practice, these are live games now. What are you learning about him?
Well, I think he's ultra competitive. He's shown his toughness, and you're always going to – I'll go back. Brett showed his toughness. Brett took shots. You know, Brett got better at it. Hank will get better at it. But he showed his toughness in these games, these two games. He showed his competitiveness in these two games. You know, there's been no back down, no lay down, none of those things from him. He wants to go out there and he wants to succeed. And he's got a great demeanor on the sideline. He leads the huddle when we break it. There might be a few things in there, reminders or just motivation, but he's out there to compete. And I think you want to see that from any one of your players, but your quarterback in particular. And I love that about him. You know, at the end of the game, hey, he wants to go out there and be perfect too. That's not going to be the case. So he's going to learn along the way. But I'd rather have it that way than the other way. And I love being around guys like that. And we have a lot of guys that are ultra competitive. They're relentless. They love to be out there. They want the ball in their hands, or they want to be the guy that somebody's coming after. And he seems to be that right now. And to me, I hope we can only enhance that. You know, that's something that he brings. And I love that. And so our job is to help him prepare throughout the week. So then come game time, man, he can just let his instincts take over and just go play. And I hope as we get better at teaching what we're doing, he gets better at learning it, and we combine that, you can just let this guy just go out there and play. And when he does, I mean, you saw some of the things he's capable of doing. But he's fun to be around, and I love guys that just are ultra competitive. They want to win. Those are my kind of guys, and I understand them. Other guys that aren't like that, I don't understand them. And so I feel like with him, I don't say a whole lot to him because I know how he's thinking. And I love being around that. And so I enjoy that, and I'm glad that he's here.
This might not be your favorite question, but I'm dying to know, what sort of punishment would you give yourself for that personal foul?
Yeah, I got to think about that. Yeah, I got to think about it. But enough to make the next guy not want to do it, right? So I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
Curtis Weaver had a sack today, so
Yep.
He now has 22.5 career sacks, takes over the lead for active players
Was
in
it
FBS.
.5 you got today, or did you get a whole one?
No, I think whole one.
Yeah,
It
whole
was
one today.
22.5 total, I think.
All right.
So, you know, what kind of a caliber player are fans witnessing right now?
Well, Curtis, he prepares, and I think he's done a better job, the best job he's done since he's been here, of having himself prepared. But Curtis has got ability to rush the passer. We've seen that. We know that. That's no secret. Teams are going to obviously be aware of that as well and try to double team him. That's one of the things. You're going to get a back chipping on him. You're going to get lines sliding to him. You're going to get tight ends banging on him. And he had a few tonight. He got pressure on the quarterback, had some one-on-one situations. So that's the thing about, you know, with Curtis, there's going to be a lot of different looks that he gets. But the thing I like where he's at, he's been relentless coming off the edge. And it's not just that he doesn't get a sack. He provides pressure. He provides presence. He provides that for that quarterback, you know, again, just that visual that here comes 99. So to me, that needs to continue. That's the biggest thing. You know, he needs to continue that. He needs to keep developing that skill. He needs to keep improving. He's still a young player. And so as far as what people see, that I see a guy out there that wants to get better at his craft and works really hard at it. I know people see a really good pass rusher, and he's one of the better ones in the country. But there's still a lot of football left to be played, and he needs to focus on that. And I know he will. That's the thing I love about Curtis. He's phenomenal out there on the field, and he's great in the huddle, and he's excited to be out there, and I love the demeanor that he brings. he's one of those guys, hey, I got you. And he goes out there and he'll find a way to make a play, or he's affecting a play one way or another. He's making it or he's affecting it. And, that's what you get when you get some guys like that are good pass rushers.
I asked you during fall camp about your team's tempo, and obviously that was to be determined, and I know there's different factors in it, but 108 plays last week, 81 this week, and you have the ball for 40 minutes. What have you seen in terms of that?
The ball 40 minutes this week?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah, 39-12 it says. Huh. So in terms of being able to do that first 2 weeks, how what all goes into that, and how much of a difference does that make in a game for you guys?
Yeah, well, you asked about the tempo. We going fast. I really don't know what our tempo is. There's so many of them. There's so much variety in it, right? There's a huddle play. There's a no huddle play. There might be a fast play. It's just, and that's kind of just been the first 2 games. I don't know what it's going to be next week. What we're going to do. And Coach Hill and the offensive staff do a really good job of that. But I do know that we do want to have the ball in our hands, and we do want to be able to run it, and we do want to, give Hank a chance. He can throw it. I mean, we can open this up more. And Hank has shown that. We had opportunities tonight. We didn't get him off, and Marshall did a good job in those situations. But to me, I think it's a lot to do with our defense, to be honest with you. I go back, and again, just the numbers, if you want to look at those things, the second half of the first, the second half of this one, I think a lot of it has to do with the defense. I don't know if it's so much of the offense just controlling it and taking all those 40 minutes and just saying, hey, we got to have it for 38-plus minutes or whatever. I think our defense is getting off the field, and the offense is able to just move the ball. And we're not finishing, but we're moving the ball. We're controlling the ball. Now we got to figure out how to finish on the offensive side, but the defense is getting on and off the field, which is what provides the offense a chance to go out there and have that much time.
We asked Kakoa about the 2 second-half shutouts. He said we asked Kakoa about the 2 second-half shutouts, and he said he'd like to see the first-half shutout as well. But what's really
I like the answer. Yeah, those are the kind of guys I'm talking about, right? Those ultra-competitive guys. Those are the ones you want.
But what's really clicking for you guys in the second half, and what do you guys have to do to get that to click in the first half like that as well?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. What one thing it is. I think it's coaches, players coming back. I think our team communicates really well, and I mean everybody. And so there's something that's going on. Hey, this is what we need to do. They make adjustments, and we go out there and execute it. So far, we've executed the adjustments that have been made. And not perfectly, but we've done a pretty good job on the defensive side. I think offensively, we're getting better right now. But defensively, we've made those adjustments. And to me, that's the first 3-4 games of the year, you really have no idea what you're going to get. There's just not enough film. It's last season. There's new players. And so you're looking at what they did, but you really don't know. You don't know if they're going to come out in this formation, this tempo, and especially on the defensive side. There's so many things. They did some stuff early. They had some unbalanced sets, and they showed some stuff that was really difficult. And we didn't fit it right, and had some explosive plays. And then what happened? We fit it right. And that was the difference, right? They had a couple reverses. Early on, they had a reverse. And you looked at it, and it was like, this one's going to be out the gate. And luckily, we got them down. They tried to run, I think, 1 more or 2 more, but at least 1 more, and we shut it down. Our guys were ready for it. They were on it. So they had planned and prepared for it. That's what I see. And to me, adjustments are great. Like every coach and people talk about adjustments and things like that, but it doesn't matter if you can't execute them. So to me, it's all about players. It's all about those guys seeing this is what we have to do, understanding it, and then actually going out there and executing it. So to me, all the credit goes to the players in the second half of being able to do that, especially on the defensive side. Okay, thanks, guys.